So you're thinking about buying your first camper van? Keep watching this video to find out why you should.
If you're watching this video because you're thinking about buying your first camper van, you're probably doing what everybody does. Watching videos, reading comments on social media, joining Facebook groups and thinking, is it worth it? So this isn't a van build video and it's not a sales pitch. It's just what it actually feels like to own a van from somebody who's owned one for a while. Do I wish I'd done this earlier? Do I have any regrets? Find out later in the video.
And if this is your first time here, I post videos like this every single week. Everything from leg smashing hikes through to wonders through villages and meandering walks. Basically things that are actually doable for everyday people and also the not so normal people like me in camper vans. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, feel free to subscribe. It don't cost a penny, and do the hype thing and the like and all the other stuff, smashing buttons and things. See you, bye.
There's this moment about 5 minutes after you arrive. You haven't unpacked properly, but you open the fridge anyway. You sit down in the doorway, you watch other people wrestle with their tents, and you realise, I didn't do anything wrong. You're already sorted.
So let's talk about why buying your first camper van might feel difficult. The internet makes it feel expensive. It can be overwhelming, like everyone else knows something that you don't. Big builds, perfect interiors, and lists upon lists of must-have upgrades. That can put people off before they've even started. So here's the thing I really want all first-time buyers to hear. You don't need an all-singing, all-dancing camper van with every single gadget to experience this. You can buy any cheap but reliable van, throw a mattress in the back, get a cooking stove, a hot water bottle for the colder nights, and don't forget a pee bottle or a bucket. You might need that. That setup will give you 90% the experience and 100% the feeling. The van doesn't make the lifestyle makes the van.
Ooh, inspirational quotes, Colin. Now, if you do want an all-singing, all-dancing van and you've got the budget for it, go for it. There are some incredible vans out there, and if your budget is basically unlimited, you've got options. Lots of them.
I'm a Yorkshireman, and personally I wouldn't spend 100 grand on a van just to go on 1 or 2 holidays a year or to make the odd day out convenient. I'd rather go on a decent holiday every year, and to put that into perspective, a 100 grand van is a 5 grand holiday every year for the next 20 years. I know. But if you're serious about it and you know you're going to use it a lot and it'll be a big part of your life, and more importantly, you've got the budget to spend big, why not?
I think that starting simple is actually a huge advantage. You learn what you need, what you don't, and what you'll never use as you go. First-time buyers who start small can upgrade as they go, and that could mean DIY projects to make it more you, or upgrading to a larger, more elaborate van over time too. I'm no DIY expert, but I do love tinkering with my van. But if you don't have the experience, there are many places that can help you improving your van as you go. It all depends on what you have to spend and the time you have to do DIY.
Days out with a van are just better, and that's the thing that surprises a lot of first-time camper van owners. You don't just have to use your van for camping. It is a great companion on days out, whether you're cooking in your van by the roadside or in a car park, or taking your fish and chips back that you bought from the seaside. It's spot on.
I hike a lot, and my walks don't end in a rush. They end with a brew and somewhere warm to sit, relax, and get changed before setting off home. I was also recently a best man and in charge of the daytime stag do activities, and the van became a base. It kept the champagne and snacks cold in the fridge, and we had somewhere to store our gear during the day too. When I go cycling, whether it be mountain biking or road biking, it's a great place for me to get warm, have a brew, and change from my muddy and sweaty clothes before setting off home. The options are endless and very welcomed at the time.
For families especially, a simple camper van takes the pressure off, and you're not chasing activities to justify the expense of a hugely costly camper van. You're just there enjoying the moment, and those moments do become fewer the older your children get. It can be a bit human Jenga from time to time, but trust me, that all becomes part of the charm of owning one of these. But when our teenage daughter does want to come with us, we set up the awning from time to time for the extra space. We bought our awning second hand, so it wasn't a huge expense, but it adds to the living space in the van for extra bags and the needless stuff that they bring.
I hear so many van owners say the same thing. They wish they'd done it sooner. I say it all the time. In fact, at first, I just wanted a simple Mazda Bongo or a beat-up old van to go on my adventures. But in the end, after a chat with the family, we decided to build our own to the spec that we wanted. And over the past 5 years, we've refined it to what it is today. Perfect for us and what we do. But there's still some improvements that I'd like to make, like adding a bike rack or fixed awning, but that's for another video.
It's a bit windy. Yes, the barrier to entry feels high, but it doesn't have to be. Buy something reliable, buy something simple, try the lifestyle, and if it's not for you, there are plenty of people out there that will snap your hand off to buy it off you. Do you know what the most popular way of trying out a van without the huge costs or the commitment of owning one is to just hire one for a long weekend, give it a go and make your decision from there. And if you've yet to buy a camper van, you're not late, you're not underprepared, and you definitely don't need the perfect van. You just need a van that gets you here.
Also, a great way to see vans in the flesh before you buy one, to get a feel of what you might want, or more importantly, what you don't want, is to visit motorhome shows. I recently visited the Glasgow Motorhome Show, and I'm a regular visitor of the Harrogate Motorhome Show too. And even though I already have a van that I absolutely love, it gives me great ideas for either upgrades or that potential future new van purchase. Or even better, why not hire a van and go to this year's Dubbed Out Festival? The tickets are on sale now and I'll leave a link in the description below, #not-sponsored. There's thousands of vans there, of all shapes and sizes, and not just VWs either. And asking a van owner about their van experiences will be more than welcomed by them. Not only that, you get to see what a van actually looks like when it's in camping mode, rather than the pristine showroom shine mode at motorhome shows.
Do I have any regrets? We'll get onto that in just a second, but first, all of my friends said to me when I bought this van that they like staying in hotels too much to get a camper van. Having a camper van doesn't mean that you're banned from staying in hotels. I still love staying in them. In fact, last night I stayed in this cabin very loosely because it's super swish, at Dales and Trails campsite, because I can. Having a camper van while staying in a hotel actually gives you more options for days out. It gives you a base to keep your sandwiches cold in the fridge and make a cuppa while you're out and about. So do I have any regrets?
And before I answer that, I'll pop links in the description to my essential campervan accessories, my favourite campsites and DIY build playlists to get your minds thinking. And if you've already got a van and you're watching this, please leave a comment about your favourite thing about your van in the comment section below. It'll really help others decide whether it's right for them or not.
My only regret is that I didn't do it sooner.